I'm sitting here in the slightly dark but comfortable surroundings of Barnes Rugby Club. What looks like a green and gold parachute covers the roof and gives a somewhat homely feel, despite the sun shining on the wetlands outside. The council grounds where the club play often has as many geese as people down to view the proceedings on show, while Craven Cottage, the home of Fulham Football Club, sits visibly across the river. I first spoke to long-serving player Tom MacArthur about what attracted him to the club.
So I moved to London full-time in 2009 and I had a few friends from university, Northumbria in the northeast, were playing here and they recommended it. And those guys said, you know, come play at Barnes, it's very social, good group of lads, they're all quite friendly. And yeah, I've been here ever since.
Club captain Adam Libby had a slightly different journey before he settled in London. After 6 years in the armed forces, he explains what he likes most about Barnes.
I think from my time in the military, the sense of camaraderie and team is essential for me. And I think coming down to a rugby club, didn't really know anyone in London apart from a few mates from uni who happened to play in the rugby club. It was this is my way into the community, into teamship, but also what rugby brings. It's a unique sport in the fact it brings communities together, but also it's just something to do during the week, and it breaks up the week. On a Tuesday and Thursday night, see your mates, have a meal on a Thursday night with your friends, and then Saturday is sorted, really. So it gives a bit of structure, and that's how you basically do a lot of your networking within London.
With the season nearing an end, I was keen to find out how the team was getting on, and Tom was happy to explain.
2 games left, we're sitting pretty in second. We're playing a bottom 3 team, if not the bottom team, at Towcester at the weekend. Classic Barnes, we could go into this quite complacent and get our noses blooded, but that would be a big shock. We could be promoted as champions if the cards fall right. If not, we've got a playoff at the end of April, and that will decide if we go back into the heady heights of National 2 South.
That promotion would bring Barnes back to the 4th tier of National Rugby, and Adam knows why.
There's been a few injuries, but everyone's gone really well, and I think the beauty of Barnes Rugby Club and everyone is that we can interchange our team pretty easily. People step up, and there's no bad blood. It's always about the right person playing and supporting each other.
The question now is, will going back up to National 2 be a good thing for the club? And will they need to change their ways? Adam thinks any change would take away from the Barnes ethos.
Yeah, personally, I think Barnes' unique selling point is the fact it's the highest quality of rugby you can probably play without rugby being the main focus of your week. So I think it involves people have their own work lives to get on with, and rugby is a kind of additional extra. I think if it tried to veer more towards the rugby, it may force a few people away because I think it's got the right balance at the moment.
It's a tough one because the league above is very, very, there's a lot of travel, teams train more, they're bigger, they're usually fitter. They're not necessarily more skillful. I think as a team we have some quite skillful players, but I do think we would have to somehow sort of buy into a sort of semi-professional environment, and I think what makes Barnes so good is our sort of casual approach to some things. I think the management and coaching staff would have to be very careful not to take away. I think we would have to bring some aspects of a semi-professional setup, and that might mean an extra training session, that might mean a written commitment in people's contracts to attend training, or a fitness test of some description. I don't know.
But away from league positions, both agree community and belonging is far more important to the players in what can be a very lonely city.
London, as with a lot of big cities, can be a lonely place if you don't get involved with what's going on. And I think also just with modern times at the moment, people are getting increasingly comfortable being alone together, social media, on the phones, and it forces you to get outside, put your phone down, run around a bit. So I think there's a bit of a mixture. Without it, I think it'd be terrible.
And finally, what advice would Tom give a rugby player moving to London?
Make friends and sort of find your place, find your village in a city as big and as diverse as London.